So I know a lot of you guys are just now getting into bass fishing, and even if you've been into bass fishing for years and years and years like I have, and you've got decades of experience, there's one constant that we all kind of have to think about, and that is rods and reels, because without rods and reels, we're not going to be out there fishing. I mean, we have to have a rod and a reel and some line to throw all the baits that we buy on. But a rod and reel is really a vital tool for bass fishing. And one of the biggest questions that I would get over on the Alex Rudd Fishing channel is, what rod and reels should I buy? Or should I spend more money on my rod or more money on my reel, or should I split it just right down the middle? Well, in today's video, I'm going to kind of give you my opinion on rods and reels and where you should spend your money. So I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. I, for a long time, didn't work with any company in the industry, but through Alex Rudd Fishing, I've been blessed to work with some of the best companies in the industry. And so back when I didn't work with anybody, I obviously had to buy my own rods and reels. And I come up in a middle-class family where we didn't have a ton of money, but we had money to go fishing. And my dad even bought, more affordable gear because of that. But there was one thing that we never really skimped on when it came to our rods and our reels, and that was the reel itself. So in my opinion, I think that buying a more expensive reel is more important than buying a more expensive rod. And I'm going to explain myself, because I know a lot of you guys are probably sitting there already typing on the keyboard and saying, Alex, my super expensive, NRX Plus rod has the best sensitivity in the whole entire world. And I'm sure it does, but I'll give you an explanation as to why I think you should buy a more affordable rod and invest in a reel as we go on. So we always invested in reels. My dad was a big fan of Abu Garcia and Shimano. Those are the two reels that he bought. I was always a big fan of Abu Garcia's, Shimano. I worked with Lew's for a while, really liked those reels and bought some of those reels as well. And the thing is my dad always gave me the piece of advice: son, invest in a higher end reel because it'll last you a lifetime. And that's absolutely for certain and for real, because I still have some of my dad's old Corrado E's that he bought over 20 years ago that function completely fine. I've still got some of my old 3500s that I had when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old that my dad bought for me, Abu Garcia reels, that still function just fine. And in today's market, when we look at like an Abu Garcia or a Shimano or something like that, that kind of $250 plus reel is really where you're going to find the most quality and the most bang for your buck as far as investing in a quality reel that's going to last you a long time. And now in the situation that I'm in, I'm fishing 300 plus days a year. I'm making content for you guys and just having a ton of fun. And the thing is if I can break gear, or there is a piece of gear that will break, I'm going to be able to break it just with the time that I put on the water. And the thing is I've found that when I invest in that $250 to $300 price range reel, it's a reel that's going to last me season after season after season. And so no matter if the rod breaks, or if something happens to my rod, or if I need to switch the reel to a different rod, or vice versa, the reel is going to function the same and going to last a long time as long as you take care of it. Whereas the rod, that may not be as true. Because if we think about a rod, and I hate to say this like this, but it's this kind of the truth, is that a rod is the most expendable part of your setup. And that's because a rod, the guides can pop off, the guide inserts can pop out, the rod can break, you can step on the rod, you can shut the rod in your car door, in your boat locker door, you can just break the tip off while you're trying to get it out of your kayak. I mean, anything can happen to that rod. It's a lot more sensitive than the reel is to damage. And the thing is, with modern rods and modern technology, a $99 to $110 rod is as good as anything it's ever been made, just because we have better graphite, we have better Toray, we have better designs, we have better resins, we have better wrapping. I mean, all of these things make it where that $500 rod 5 years ago is now like a $100 rod now. And that's the thing about bass fishing technology that you have to understand. That's kind of a sneaky thing that companies do, is that they will take what was the $500 technology 5 years ago and they'll put it in the $200 reel now. Or they'll take what was the $600 technology in the rod 5 years ago and they'll put it into the $100 reel now, or $100 rod now. And so if you go and invest in that $250 kind of to $275 range reel and put it on a $89 to $100 rod, I think that you're going to get the most bang for your buck, because that rod can break and probably will break long before that more quality reel does. And that's just my opinion. Now you tell me, guys, what do you invest in? Do you invest in high quality rods, high quality reels? Do you invest money into both? Do you split it in between? Or are you just a guy who likes affordable equipment all around? And if you want to see me catching some fish on some kind of budget gear, click this video that's popping up right here.